Hello, Aster here, back at it again with just some minor video that I wasn't supposed to make and that I should be on break. Today, I kind of just wanted to talk about some stuff because it's my monthly unscripted video kappa, but I think it's finally time that I actually give credit where credit is due in Genshin Impact. Now, I've realized that Genshin Impact is taking this step in the right direction, and honestly, that's a good thing. Now, obviously, I don't think that the game is currently perfect. It's still a resin-based system, and there are still a lot of empty gaps in between. But the way that they're doing it right now, in my opinion, is significantly so much better than how they did it before. So this isn't me praising MiHoYo, almighty overlords, but honestly, I think it's just a fair criticism. I'm someone that criticizes if I like something or if I don't like something in Genshin Impact's development. So in my opinion, I want to also give them the praise that they deserve because they've been trying their best. So one thing that I really like with the new updates is that you are getting more land or maps, as much as I can say that. So with the new islands, obviously we have more exploration, and this is something that was significantly gone in the first year of Genshin. Like, you know how we just had Mondstadt and Liyue, and we had nothing in between. Like, you would have all these filler content, and the problem is, like, the quality of the filler content is not you're even playing the game. Like, some of them are just like you log in every now and then. But now with the new content, you can at least explore around, and you have more secrets to explore. And now you actually just feel like you're playing the game. And I think it's a genuinely great step in the right direction, because if I'm not mistaken, we're also going to be getting some new potential islands. We're going to get the Chasm, we're going to get the Academia, I think, which I'm not sure when we're going to get that, but in my opinion, I think that's amazing. And you're getting more exploration islands in between nations, because normally, right, when we were waiting for Inazuma, we were waiting for just Inazuma. So in my opinion, more permanent content, the better. And I'm so happy that that's what they're doing. And props to you, MiHoYo, because now we just have so much more secrets. It's not time-gated, you know, time-gated in a way that it's gonna go away after a few weeks, you know, Golden Archipelago. But in my opinion, good on you, MiHoYo. That's a step in the right direction because everyone's going to start looking forward to the new content, and honestly, the more the merrier. Not to mention the lore of that's gonna be super spicy. Number 2 is we're going to be talking about their story execution, and in my opinion, there isn't really much of a change in their story execution, but rather I do appreciate that we're having a bit more quality, at least, and a bit more depth when it comes to the characters. So we're going to start first with the world quests. Now, the world quests, in my opinion, could still be improved on, and by that I mean that it could have been voiced. I think it was a step in the right direction for the quality itself of the story, not to mention that it did get stuff from the lore, which is really nice. And it's not just, you know, you actually do feel for Rue, and they did the setting for Surumi Island really well, in my opinion. But another one that I really enjoy now is that we are getting a recurring antagonist, and I think that's something that MiHoYo's One Point Blank didn't have. And none of the Harbingers were actually fleshed out because, in my opinion, they could have had Senora as like one of the recurring Harbingers that was getting, you know, a form of content that was progressive. But obviously they didn't. At 2.x, we're getting Scaramouche lores. Now the good thing about this is that if you have a character that is slowly growing with time and has an active plotline, you're going to have a character that maybe can be compelling in the end after their quote-unquote progress. I don't think that it should just be limited to Scaramouche. I wish that they do more characters like this in the future, but it's a step in the right direction. It's just nice to see a growing character, you know, in a game that's also growing. But for the next point, and when it comes to storytelling, is I really appreciate that we get more lore. I'm looking at you, 2.3. 2.3, story-wise, has been really good. Now, in my opinion, I think that looking at 2.3's overall, like, patch as a big thing, I know that it's a filler patch, and obviously, well, at this point, looking at the story quest, I'm not even sure if it's counted as filler because it has like one of the most important plot points. Oops, I didn't spoil that. But in my opinion, I genuinely think that 2.3, it's like the filler events, have the best lineup. Like, you have the Misty Dungeon, you have the Energy Amplifier, and you also have my boy, Libin. You have 3 events that are gameplay based. You had the Kazuha event, right, which is pretty cool, honestly. But in my opinion, the more content that is interactive and the more content that you have that is fighting based, or at least like something that you can repeatedly do if you want, just keep going. Like filler patch or not, as long as the events are fun. And I think that MiHoYo is going into the step of the right direction when it comes to developing Genshin. Not their PR team, though. I have no idea what's going on with their PR team. Like, Jesus Christ, please coordinate. Another good example of why Genshin is improving is because of the double banners. Now, this one is going to be a bit of a doozy because a lot of people actually don't really like the double banners. In my opinion, the double banners are good. I'm not a whale, before someone says that. I have the Wilkins. I think that the double banners are really good because that means, one, you're going to get the character that you want rerun much earlier than you think. Because the problem is, if they don't have the double banners, they're going to have to pick and choose who gets a rerun, and if their initial banner didn't sell well, that means that it's probably likely that they would never get a rerun if it wasn't a double banner. So with a double banner, you can also get more new characters because now we don't have to keep picking and choosing in a way. I think it was my biggest problem with 2.2, which had the Tartaglia Hutao banner, and like a lot of people were just like, oh, well, we don't have a new character currently at the moment, and we're just like, oh, just skip that if you already have both of them. And in my opinion, that's not a good look. So introducing double rerun banners is super duper nice. Another thing that I really like that they're doing is that they are showcasing you the characters like ahead of time with their Twitter and their whatever, their announcements. They didn't do that before 2.0, which was a question mark, but now that they're doing that, I think now they don't have to worry that much on the leakers. But in my opinion, I really hope that they would release the character ascension materials and the character talent books, because one, if they're saying that we're not going to play the game once they release, I'm going to just counter argue that and say, but that means we're still going to be playing the game because we need to get the materials in the first place. So I really wish that they would do that. Same for the weapons. For the weapons, I'm really glad that they started doing that. So maybe we're just going this step of a right direction, and then we're just going to get, I don't know, or like a spreadsheet or something. What are your opinions? I know that the Primogem count can definitely be a little higher, especially for the free-to-play, and their PR team is having a crisis multiple times. But in my opinion, I think that the development of Genshin Impact as a game has significantly improved based on the things that they've been doing in the past, and I'm just really excited for this game. I hope that they fix up the other stuff that needs to be fixing, like the resin system and like the recharge rates, and just add more replayable content and just improve like their story. But in my opinion, gameplay wise, we're going into a right direction. We're going somewhere and we're improving. And honestly, it may not be perfect, but at least there's progress. So I'm really hopeful for Genshin. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for chilling with me, and I am going to, I would say take a break, but I have like a script ready. So I'm not even gonna lie to myself. There is no break in Basing Say.